Second Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 5. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rakakadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. So what you looking at is a situation that took place, in California, where you had the sheriff come to this person's house. I don't know if he's a Northern Kingdom. He might be Northern Kingdom with a last name like Morales. He may be a Northern Kingdom, Jake. When they was coming to evict him, and he was pretty much waiting for him, and he let off, and he wound up Salakia. And he wound up letting off, and one of the sheriffs put him in the spirit world, and at the end they pretty much ran him over. So this is the state of Babylon, man. This is the state of America. The people in America are fed up. Inflation is killing everybody. The cost of living is killing everybody. The rise in everybody's financial responsibilities is killing them. And they can't cope. Some people are losing their jobs, and this country has no morals. This country has no sympathy, for anybody. And people are tired. So we're gonna listen in. I don't want this to be too long. Check it out.
We intentionally ran him over. Don't shoot at cops. You shoot at cops, we're going to run you over. He got run over. He got what he deserved.
It all began with bullets flying in a Porterville neighborhood. This dramatic video showing law enforcement officers running for cover. Tragically, Tulare County Sheriff's Detective Randy Hoppert was shot and killed while serving an eviction order. And then an hours-long standoff taking place before that gunman was spotted wearing tactical gear and moving between houses, and then run over and killed by a Kern County Sheriff's Department Bearcat. Eyewitness News reporter Leanne Suter following the story for us tonight. Leanne.
Mark, that violent and deadly scene unfolding in the middle of a quiet neighborhood this morning. It all began with what was supposed to be a civil eviction order. It ended in the deaths of that deputy and his killer. A barrage of bullets and a deadly gun battle with a heavily armed man claims the life of a Tulare County Sheriff's deputy.
Or advise him to put down the gun and stay inside his residence. Shots fired, shots fired. Officer down. Take cover. The Bearcat. Shots fired, shots fired. Officer down. No shots fired by the suspect.
After an hours-long standoff and repeated shootouts, the gunman finally taken down.
One of the Bearcats ran over him and killed him. We intentionally ran him over. Don't shoot at cops. You shoot at cops, we're going to run you over. He got run over. He got what he deserved.
The sheriff says 35-year-old Randy Hoppert, a 6-year veteran of the department, was shot and killed as detectives were serving an eviction notice at a home in Porterville between Bakersfield and Fresno. Investigators say the suspect, 59-year-old David Morales, was expecting law enforcement to arrive for the eviction and was lying in wait.
They were immediately met by a subject with a rifle. Gun?
Man, that's crazy, man. Here it is. Jake was waiting. You know, he knew that the eviction notice was coming, and he was lying in wait. You know, because there's there's a lot of people being evicted out of their homes. You know, and you know, Jake uh has been uh pretty much struggling and catching hell. And it might be in Northern Kingdom, Jake, you know, over there in Fresno, California, you know, near Fresno. There's a lot of Northern Kingdom Jakes over there. But yeah, man, he was waiting. He was ready and he was waiting, you know. And he took one of these devils out. You know, see, the devil don't have no mercy, man. You know, and this is going to be, you know, a normal thing soon, where people are going to, you know, lash out at law enforcement. People are going to, you know, be willing to give their lives for, you know, what they deem as their American um benefit. As them being an American, they're gonna deem it as, I'm an American, I deserve this. You're not gonna take it from me. Right? So they're gonna go off of that. You know, because the scriptures tell you, let's get it. This is Second Ezra 15, and I'm gonna start at 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another with swords in their hands." Those swords are guns, right, or any form of weaponry. It says, "For there shall be sedition among men," right? So when you look up that word sedition, right? Sedition, it says, sedition is the act of inciting through speech, writing, or action discontent or rebellion against government's lawful authority, right? So they came with a eviction notice, which, you know, evictions are a fucking unrighteous decree, you know, because how you want somebody to continuously pay rent for the rest of their lives, man. But this is the devil, you know, and his authority and his world, his kingdom right now, you know. So, you know, Jake said, you know, you backed him in, you backed me into a corner, and I got no choice but to lash out, right? So it says, verse 16 again. It says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." So the sheriff, the FBI, the CIA, the alphabet boys, I'm going to just say that, regular law enforcement, these will be considered princes, right? And, you know, not kings per se, but princes. They would be considered that. So they are there to uphold the law, which they don't. They break their damn laws. But, you know, this is what it is, and this is how, you know, it's gonna get. So let's continue. I got one more. We're gonna shut it down.
Fire immediately exchanged between the officers and our suspect.
The sheriff says Morales was armed with a high-powered rifle, the violent gun battle continuing throughout the day as negotiators tried every tactic to get him to give up.
Basically, he said he's going down in a blaze of glory, and he ain't going down peacefully. He made that very well known.
He says when Morales finally left the home dressed in tactical gear and camouflage, hiding in neighbors' yards and firing at armored vehicles, the decision was made to run him over.
Well, you know, in this Jake, he had tactical gear and he had camouflage. He may be ex-military or something like that. You never know, you know. And if he is, look, check that out, because here it is. You fought for this country, and now the same country you fought for, they evicting you. So that shows you the military is just a waste of fucking time, man. Slovakia, man, for the language, but you get upset on how stupid people are, man. How retarded people are. You know, so, hey, man.
Deputy Hoppert died at the hospital, leaving a department and his family devastated, all due to the actions of one man.
He created this, and we have a 4-month-old baby that will never know his or her father. This is senseless.
And you see, when these devils talk of their own, they only know how to speak like that, right? Like they're the only ones that matter. But so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans have been getting killed. The men have been being taken from their kids, shot down in front of their kids, right? Ripped apart from their families due to your ICE, these ICE agents that you got out here, your ICE branch, that's what I meant to say, right? But nobody says nothing about that, man. But let one of you devils get put down. Now, that child would never know his father. Well, to hell with him, man. You know? Because the Lord about to do something to you devils, man. Right? Y'all don't even realize what's about to happen and go down with y'all. You know, here it is. You passing unlawful decrees every day. You are completely wicked and demonic, and you rule with rigor. And you're gonna have people like this. There's thousands of people that are going to, get like this Jake. Thousands of people, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, because America as a country has the most guns, where it has more guns than people, man. So, hey, it's going to be bloody out here.
Hoppert's death is the first line of duty death for that department in nearly 20 years. Governor Newsom says that the state's flags will be flown at half staff in his honor. Reporting live, Leehyun Suter, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
And let's put this devil up there, though. Let's put him up there, man. This is one of them. You could tell he's a straight, bigot and a goddamn racist, man. You could tell he's one of them. With the whole porn mustache and all that. So this is 2nd Esdras 14. We're gonna shut it down. 2nd Esdras 14, verse 16. It says, For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. For look how much the world shall be weaker with age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. So I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. Yeah, this is going to be a recurring thing, man. So, hey, man, to the next one. Shalom.